Want to know? Well, tomorrow morning we decided not to have the class. 6:30 to that 8 o'clock class. We'll just give you some sleeping time, okay? So everybody is already droopy, and so just one day, tomorrow. Day after tomorrow we'll have that. That's a good idea. It's good news, isn't it? The objection is clear. I can appreciate that I am Satchit Ananda. And I appreciate Brahman is Satchidananda because that's what you say, Brahman. Because the Shruti, the teaching says, Brahman is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. Satchidanandam Brahman. That's fine. But there is further that Brahman is looked upon as the cause for everything. Yato va imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat prayanti abhisham vishanti tad vijijñāsasva tad brahmeti. See the analysis how we do. This is how we analyze the sentences which give us the meaning. See, yato va imani bhutani jayante. Yataha means yasmat, from which all these are born, by which all these are sustained, unto which all these go back, that is Brahman. That is one definition. The other definition is that Brahman is Satchit Ananda. If Brahman is Satchit Ananda, from that standpoint of the definition, I am okay. I am Satchit Anandam Brahman. But there is another definition which says, from which everything is born, by which everything is sustained, unto which everything goes back, that is Brahman. That is another definition. The second definition I do not fulfill. First definition, yes. That means, so between Brahman and myself, there is a certain similarity and also dissimilarity. The similarity is I am Satchidananda. Like Reagan is a human being, I am also a human being. But he is in the White House, I have no house. And so he is a big fellow, I am a small fellow. There is a lot of difference even though human beings we are. In our understanding, that's how we understand things. So when you say cow, so all are cows. But this cow is a special cow because it yields a lot of milk. And now you say this cow is a white cow, it's an imported cow, it's a different hybrid cow or whatever. This is a different cow. So too, Samanya means universal. So by perhaps Brahman and myself have certain universal attribute common. But then there is something uncommon. That's how things are different. All human beings are not males. All males are not presidents. All males are not fathers. All males are not husbands. So there is a difference. And so here also, now if you say Brahman and myself are identical, by one definition, the second definition is from out of which everything has come, by which everything is sustained, unto which everything goes back, that is Brahman. Yato va imani bhutani jayante, yena jatani jivanti, yat prayante abhisham vishanti, tad vijijñāsasva, tad brahmeti, so kamayate bahusyam prajayayeti. He thought so, Brahman thought so. Then the creation came. So like this you have, the Brahman is presented as the cause for the creation, whereas I am not. So, even though I can share commonly with Brahman certain attributes of myself, like Satchidananda, I cannot say I am Brahman for Brahman is much more. This was the argument. So he says, look, what is creation? That is the question asked. What is a creation? Creation, we have seen before. Creation, what is creation means anything that is produced. It's a creation. We produce a given thing out of something, that is creation. Like this desk, born of wood, born of wood, sustained by wood. And again, suppose we remove all this, we need not even remove. We call it a desk. Suppose I change the whole position, okay? Swami always, he has got something in front of him like this. I require this, I feel nervous. And so what I do, I feel so nervous before I talk, I hold on to this. It gives me some security. It gives me some security, really. It gives me some security. Then talk. People hold on to something always when they talk. So I hold on to this and I talk because it gives you some security. If they don't have anything to hold on, at least they hold their hands together tightly. And then they, I've seen people, they do all that. So I hold on to this and talk. Now what do you call this, tell me? What do you call this? Desk? No? This is not desk. Yeah. Speaker's crutch. It's gone. The desk is gone. See now how we change things now. What has happened? Now the desk is gone, something else is there. This is not desk. And so, all that I say is, all that is here is wood. This is creation. So, suppose I ask, please make a speaking crutch for me, they will make like this. And I tell them for left hand one, right hand another. So they give me two. And the other two also is there. That is whenever I lean on this side also I can. And so. So the desk is gone. The desk is gone. Just to turn the whole thing, the desk is gone. Suppose you put this, okay? You just take this desk and then nail it on the wall. What do you call this? See, nail it on the wall. It becomes sort of a coat hanger. So you can hang your shirt and a coat and like this, it's a hanger. So this is what we call, this is what I say, this is the creation. What you call desk is nothing but a form. It doesn't have an independent existence. A form is, look, a form is an attribute. A form is not a substance. Form is an attribute. And every attribute requires a substance. No attribute can have the status of being a substantive. It has to qualify an object. It must have a locus. Okay? And so the form, if the form is, desk is a form, an attribute. So it must have a substance to qualify. The substance here is wood. Therefore, wood in a form is desk. In another form, it is coat hanger or the speaker's crutch. Thus, you have the same thing. I mean, you have a particular form. The form depends upon the substance. The substance can be in any form. Now look here. Now the wood also is a form. Wood becomes satyam. The creation, what you call the desk, is purely a form. Wood is a substance, and that also is a form reducible to some other substance. You know, it has got its own substance. It can be reduced. And this, if you reduce the substance into further something, the basis. Now, what is the substance? Simple logically, what is the substance? Every substance is a form, itself requiring a substance. What is the substance? The substance can only be without form, necessarily, without form. That's logical. Then afterwards, what is that we have to see? So, the substance can only be without form. If the substance also has a form, a quality, then you have to find out further substance. And therefore, there must be a substance without form. And we don't understand a substance as substance without form. That's why we can't call it substance. It's not substantial. So there must be something without a form, but itself does not depend therefore upon anything. And so that will be the basis for creation. And the creation is but a form. And the form itself assumes different forms. So one form can assume any number of forms. The same wheat becomes the wheat flour. Itself becomes the dough. Itself becomes the what you call the bread baked. So unbaked the stuff, then baked bread. Then that itself becomes, which is donut. So it becomes all that is extra here. So what I say, one thing alone, the same thing assumes different forms. And so that doesn't mean, so there is something substance basically formless, which is the basis of all forms. This is a very peculiar situation. One form assuming a form is understandable. Now here a formless assumes a form is not understandable. Now and without that you cannot even, you can't imagine also a creation, because everything is reduced to its own substance, which is again reducible to its substance. If that is so, then anything that I reduce to another substance is but a form of that substance. And if that is also reduced to another substance, then that is also a form of the other substance. And so if there is something which is basic, the basic truth, the source, the essence of everything, if there is something, that should be purely formless. So that means the source of all the creation is formless. If it is formless thing, the source of all creation, formless, well, then Brahman is okay as the source of all creation, Satchid Ananda. Why? Because, so the Satchid Ananda is the Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, the three words I say used. So, look here. So that Chit, that Satyam Jnanam is Satchit Anantam. Anantam or Anantam, it's all the same. Anantam. Now here the Chit is that, is awareness. I used another word. The other day is consciousness, now today is awareness. So that you don't get caught anyway, okay? And so, awareness. Now this Chit awareness has no form. Has it got a form? It has no form. Awareness has no form. If awareness, people give a form to awareness too. They say, I am Atma is consciousness. Yesterday I saw. How was that? Oh, 2 inches. Awareness has no form. If it has a form, how did you figure out? You have to say, I saw. If you saw, then what you saw, the 2 inches, is for awareness. It is a form recognized in awareness alone. Therefore, we are talking about awareness itself has no form. There is no other awareness to be aware of awareness having a form. Awareness is formless. Okay? And it is not bound by time, and therefore it is timeless, as I told you. Sat means that is basic truth, and that is awareness, is all the time, is awareness all the time, here limitless, anantam, limitless spatially, etc. And therefore, Brahman is the cause for the entire creation. Is the cause. Okay. Now the problem is, question is, I can understand as the very basis of the entire creation, Brahman. But does Brahman awareness create the world? That is the question. You see, I can understand this is wood. It's not a big deal. It's not a very big deal. This is wood. That is not a problem. Does the wood itself create a desk? Does the wood create a desk and sit there? Desk now. Does the wood create? No. There is another guy. No, there is another guy who made, there is somebody, a carpenter is there, and therefore there is a carpenter, and that carpenter is the maker of this particular desk. And so the poor wood itself cannot create the world. Similarly, mere formless awareness cannot create, because you don't say awareness is an intelligent being. You simply say awareness is the source of all intelligence. I can understand that. And so awareness is something which is existence, awareness, limitless, which is purely the source, the truth of everything. Perhaps I can understand that, like the wood for the chair. But that who created everything. Now if there is any other thing, I cannot conceive Brahman, this is Brahman. So this is Brahman. I cannot conceive Brahman, which is Anantam, limitless being, so away from anything. And that this being Satyam, the creation being what? I told you what? Mithya. That being Mithya. Mithya depends upon Satyam, and therefore there is nothing that is away from Satchit Anantam Brahma, I can understand that Brahman is the source reality of everything, the formless reality of all forms. But then, so who created all these forms? And if there is a creator, cannot be away from Brahman. Cannot be away from Brahman. And so, if Brahman, therefore you have to say, Brahman itself is the creator. He is the creator, sustainer, and all that. He is the creator. Brahman is the creator. So if Brahman is the creator, now, so he must have all knowledge. He must have all knowledge, all power, etc. Then I can understand. So Brahman is the creator with all knowledge, etc. Now, listen. This mithya we saw, leave this alone. You can understand why this necessity for creator becomes clear to you. Mithya means, as I told you, that which does not independently exist. You take any one thing, it is all but a form. Even a cell is but a form. Nucleus is but a form. A thought is but a form. So thus any one thing you take is not independently existent. It is always dependent upon something. Therefore I said time is, space is, world is, awareness always is. So that becomes Satyam, the creation becomes Mithya. Now in Mithya, I told before, means last time, Mithya has got, this Mithya when you say, this Mithya itself, that's why I used the word Andrutam before. Mithya is not, now Mithya means it is not something that is delusion. Mithya is, there are two types of Mithya. One is that which is because I think so. The other is, it is because I see because it is. You know, I see therefore it is. It is therefore I see. See the difference? I see therefore it is. It is therefore I see. There are two different types of mithya. If it is a dream, I see therefore it is. If it is a table seen now, it is therefore I see. If I see a wall in the dream, I see therefore it is. Now if I see a wall here, it is therefore I see. And now you see, I see. Suppose in dream, you dream me, okay? I don't see a wall, but you see a wall. Suppose, okay, it's little difficulties there in that. Suppose you see one thing, in waking it happens. A madman, like in dream, he imagines no wall here. He thinks it's all open space. He thinks so. And because there is a lot of space, he says it's all, he's in space, he open space, he thinks. And that fellow, if he walks through this, what will happen? The wall will stop. Here the wall will stop. That because it is not wall is because you say it. If that is so, then if you don't see the wall, there would be no wall. The problem here is, even if I don't see it, it is there. So if I don't see, closing my eyes, if I keep going this way, then the wall will stop me. If I keep going, it will stop me. If I don't see it, a blind man doesn't see the wall at all, and he goes, it will stop. That means there is a wall, understand this? There is a wall, so which fulfills the definition of a wall, and thereby it is able to enclose a place, etc. Thus this wall is able to hold the ceiling too. It is not just simply a wall. Wall means it has to fulfill a certain definition. So fulfilling the definition, there is a wall, and therefore you see. And see, this wall is not a figment of your imagination. Understand? People say it's all figment of mind's imagination. It's not true. So it is not a figment of your mind's imagination. It is definitely a wall that is there. You may like the wall. I don't like the color of the wall. I don't like the height of the wall. And so this is your image. That is a part of it. Suppose you say, I hate this wall. That is yours. That hatred is yours. How you relate to the wall, that's different thing altogether. That is your way of responding to an object. But there is an object to which you respond. That is why you can change your response. That is why you can, a person whom you first time met in a pizza parlor doesn't make, it's not just a person. There is no, that person is unknown to you. You just met her in pizza parlor. That's how people meet, I am told. And no pizza parlor. In student days, So pizza, then pizza. Then afterwards, so you begin to develop some kind of conversation, and then hello, hi. And then you begin to talk. So anyway, they are looking for each other anyway. And so they meet each other and then talk to each other. Then afterwards what happened? Then that person becomes an object of like. Understand, that is subjective. That person becomes a likable person is purely subjective, because it is likable she is. Why it is subjective? Because tomorrow it is different. You know what happens in the high school and university. You go study. Nobody go to study. Everybody goes there to be steady. So you go steady for 3 months maximum. So this steady 3 months. Now what happens? That means the likable becomes so not so likable. That is because that part of it is purely subjective. Understand that? It is subjective. But there is a person to like. There is a person to be indifferent to. So there is a person to dislike. And so that person is not a figment of your imagination. Not the figment of the parents' imagination. Not the figment of the society imagination, because there is no such thing as an entity called society. Nor it is any one of us imagination. I say it is a real thing. Ask the bugs inside. It is not bugs' imagination that there is a body. The bugs are very real. They look upon this physical body as their dwelling place, inherited from their great-great-great-great-grandparents. And therefore, so there is no question of this being the figment of anybody's imagination. It is a real thing. And so this physical body is something is there because mithya is twofold, I say. One is, I see, therefore it is. The other is, it is, therefore I see. You see the difference clearly. So this is imagination. I see a snake and therefore it is on the rope. But the rope is not my imagination. Rope is not my imagination, rope is real. Snake is my imagination. If you want to extract some venom out of this snake that you see on the rope, it won't yield. Because there is no snake, but whereas the rope will be useful to you. Rope will be useful. When things don't go well, rope is useful. Yeah, rope is useful to you. Well, therefore, so that rope is a useful thing, is an empirical thing, and it is not my creation. My creation means it is not my mental projection or delusion or illusion. It is not my imagination. I see, that is why there is right knowledge and wrong knowledge. That's how there can be pursuits of knowledge. So that is why we reshuffle our ideas about the world. Understand? And so because there is right and wrong, there is science. So you can define an object. So this object in this speed, it will reach this distance. At this time you can just do that if the friction is not so much. and all that you can calculate all this. That's how the whole, we make all these structures. They all obey certain rules. To the extent we know the rules, the laws, to that extent we can make things, manipulate the resources to serve our purpose. Thus you build a bridge or build a house, all because of laws known to you. So that is not imagination. If it is imagination, anything can be anything. So you imagine a frog, no, for instance, you imagine a frog, there is a frog. Then imagine immediately no frog. Then what? So no, now it's an alligator. Then the frog turns into an alligator. Then there will be a lot of problems, you know. Whatever you think that thing is, so first you think one thing that is there, then you change your thought, it is different. Then it's very difficult. You have to be very careful. So you think of a person, the person is, then afterwards you think of suddenly you think of your dog, the person turns into a dog. There is no such thing. So what I say, there is a world, your own body, which has got a certain reality. But then form, no doubt, for I can never say any one thing as an object substantive. Nobody can say, no physicist will accept it too, because you know very well everything is reducible to everything else. Even though there is a wall, in fact, if you microcosmically, if you look at, there is no wall, only there are particles just knocking around. There is space all through. There is no such thing as wall covering us, giving us privacy. That is why God is able to see through us. He provided a microscopic ventilation. No, I mean, an eye is always, he doesn't require, the whole thing is all open, khula. There is no such thing as privation. The pores of your body, if you magnify, you will find your body is nothing but holes and craters. And therefore, you magnify this. Your body, you magnify it. Some billion times you magnify, you will find every pore, you will find it's a huge hole. And there is all lot of craters and mountains and things like that you will find here. This body is full of holes. There is no such thing as a clean, smooth body, Not that. Every follicle, so the follicle, there is that point is a kind of a nodular, so the points in a tree, like you find there are all bumps everywhere. You will find this body is not the same as you think. It is all one big, what you call, some particles knocking around, some cells knocking around. It is all open space you can walk through. So if you understand that there is no such thing as the form that we think. There is no such thing as a physical body. There is such a thing, it's a combination of a number of things. And that is what we call as body. Therefore, you always put things together. When you put things together, then there is a purpose to be served for. When you put things together, it is either to carry the thing or to carry out a thing. In a bag, you put a lot of buy things in a shop and put them together. For what? To carry them to serve some purpose later. Or if you put them all together, then it is meant for serving a purpose. Either you cook them together. So these and these, after all, vegetable and the cheese and the top of it, macaroni, then it is all put together for what? Just look at it. Even then it is put together to look at it. That is the purpose. To look at it. And therefore, if things are put together, they are meant always to serve a purpose. That the physical body is put together, and a lot of things put together. Itself there is no such thing as physical body. Then it can be reduced into a number of limbs, and they can be further reduced to their own substances, and therefore you find things are put together, which we call body, which we call liver, which we call kidney, etc. And each one again can be dismantled. And therefore, so there is no such thing as body. I say that is mithya. What kind of mithya? What kind of mithya? So this mithya or this mithya? The first one or second one? It is definitely the second one. Therefore, this mithya I know. Rope snake mithya. My dream mithya. Any imagination that is that mithya is okay. That mithya I don't bother. That mithya is to be corrected. Any mistake is mithya there. But if I take things that is not mithya, it is something that is not that mithya. It is this mithya. By generally what we do, we call that as error. We call this as satyam. We call this as satyam. The body is satyam. Any imagination about it is false. Rope is satyam. The snake seen on it is false. That's what we generally know, and that is for want of another word. When we have the other word satyam, the word we have got, and that word is not used for this body, that word is appropriated for Brahman, then the body becomes mithya. And therefore, this body is mithya, a cell is mithya, a thought is mithya, thought is awareness is. A thought form is removed, awareness is. Thought is mithya and awareness is satya. And similarly, body is, awareness is, and every body you take any one cell, awareness is. Therefore, so the body is mithya, awareness is satya. That's correct, that's true. But then, who created this mithya? That is the question. Who created this mithya? Definitely not me as an individual. For to be an individual, I am Satchidananda, plus this mind, body, etc. This mind and body is not created by me, means my body, mind, and nor Satchidananda. I can imagine Satchidananda creating because it is simple Satchidananda. Therefore, you require for the creation, this mithya creation, you require a cause. What kind of cause? Equally powerful cause, equally qualified cause, okay? Equally qualified. For an apparent creation, mithya creation, you require what type of cause? A real cause or mithya cause? You require a mithya cause, understand? For a mithya creation, you require a mithya cause. And that's all what you require. So, mithya depends upon Brahman, no doubt. But then this relationship I understand. But who created this mithya, if you ask me? Well, there must be an equally, so for the mithya creation, apparent creation, there must be an apparent creator. An apparent creator. There must be an apparent cause. And that creator we call as what we call as Brahman plus something. Okay? Plus something. Why? Because the creation also, Brahman plus something all the way. Understand? So Brahman awareness plus something is a self. Awareness plus something is time. Awareness plus something is space. Awareness Brahman plus something is the star, is the sun, the moon, the whole situation. And therefore, awareness Satyam is always present, plus something is exactly the creation. That plus something does not make any real plus for Brahman, does it? We have seen that before. One Satyam plus Mithya is equal to Satyam. And therefore, so without really bringing about any type of intrinsic change to the Brahman, I see here a creation. And that creation is that plus something. That plus something, for that plus something creation, Brahman itself must have a plus something. Okay? Mere Brahman won't create. It must have plus something. And that plus something is, now I use the word, you will see further later. Now look here, for that Satchidanandam Brahman. So plus something, what plus? Plus something, plus X. What is that X? That X should be good enough to create a mithya world. Good enough to create a mithya world. And we call that as Maya. X is Maya. X the X. Now let us call it as Maya. Clear? Maya. Now only you will have a lot of problems. Swamiji, why did you bring Maya now? Abhi tak sab theek tha. So far everything was fine. Now why is it Maya? Well, we will see why it is Maya. But anyway, I told you why it is Maya, because we have to account for Brahman. So now I have to account for the creation. The creation is there. And also I see the fact that it is Mithya. I see the fact Satyam being there as the essence. That part of it is clear. But again I find in the Mithya there are two types of Mithya. One is the imagination of my mind. The other is the mind itself, which can imagine. Okay? The mind itself which can imagine. That mind is not my creation. And therefore I must see something which provides me with mind, which provides me with all the Shaktis. Jnana, Kriya, Icha, Shakteyaha. And therefore these three types of Shaktis, as I told you, power of knowing, power of doing, power of willing and desiring, this threefold power I should be endowed with. And so I must necessarily know who is the creator and of these powers. And so, on this, therefore we call it as Maya means, understand, it is not delusion, understand, it's a power, inherent in that Brahman in the sense, with reference to the Mithya creation. There is a Mithya Maya. The word Maya itself, look, Ma means not, Ya means she. The one who is not. The one who, Ya means the one who, feminine one who, the one who is not. One who is not is Ya, Ma, Sa, Maya. She is not there, but then she is there. That's why we have reversed it. She is not there, then there is no problem. No, she is not there, but then she is there. Maya, not Yama, but Maya. Only if you analyze it, she becomes Yama. Don't analyze Maya. If you analyze it, Yama. Don't analyze Maya. Okay? Yama. Yama. Okay. Maya. So, Maya, Brahman plus Maya, we call Brahman is Ishvara. Ishvaraha. Ishvara means the creator. And then we say sustainer. Then afterwards, destroyer. Ishvara means creator, sustainer, destroyer, together called Ishvara. Who is Ishvara? Brahman is Ishvara. Don't be afraid, okay? Everything will become clear. Oh, Swamiji, now all started, what is all this? I thought everything nice, Satchidananda, Brahman. But suddenly Maya, Ishvara, God. Now we are going to start all over again. So I thought I have crossed all this. Again you are coming back, pulling me back. No. It's all you have to reconcile. You have to reconcile. There is no use ducking. Understand? Hey, ducking, Satchidananda, ducking doesn't work. Because you have to open your eyes and you find the world is there grinning at you. There is no, it's not awareness, I tell you. There is awareness of pain. There is awareness of all this problem is there. Swamiji, I am awareness. But then mosquito bites you. Then you say, then what do you say? You can't say I am awareness, Ananda awareness. Now you say, Swami, I am not simple awareness. It's a very painful awareness. You have to say I am a painful awareness. I am sad awareness. Previously you said I am sad. Now you are informed. You are educated. And therefore what will you say? I am sad awareness. Then another thing they say, I am Swamiji, I am awareness all right. I am free, all right. I am limitless Brahman, all right. But I am sad. In spite of that, I am sad. Then suppose I say, oh, that's all your problem of the mind. Suppose I say. Then they will say, Swamiji, my problem is only problem of the mind. Again the same thing. Only what do, you change. One fellow came and told me, Swamiji, so how to exhaust vasanas? One fellow asked me this question. How to exhaust my vasanas? Now previously he had the problem of sorrow. Now he says, problem of sorrow is solved. Now he wants to exhaust vasanas. This is what they call converting a problem into another form. That is called, we think that's called education. And if you go to a psychologist, then he will give you a better name. All this, some mania, whatever. So he will give a new clear name. Same thing, but because he understands it better, and therefore he has given a name. That previously said, oh, I am afraid. And he said, that's not a big problem, that's pure paranoia. So that means, now he says, now the previous, how to get rid of fear. Now he says, how to get rid of this paranoia. That means you are educated. You are modern. This is how our modernity is, I tell you. We change our language. Problem remains the same. We keep on changing our language. And therefore, so I am not, that Maya you cannot duck saying that I am Satchidananda. You have to account for this world. Then only there is Advaita. Otherwise, this is a ducking philosophy called yoga. And that doesn't work, I tell you. It is good to just have a composure inside, have a nice bath in your own, in yourself, in silence, whatever. And then when you look out, you must account this threatening world. Overwhelmingly large, overwhelmingly infinite, I would say. And that bugging world, irritating world, so the world that is not always the same as you would like it. And that world, how are you going to deal with? Which includes your mind too. That world includes your mind also. Blessed mind is not outside that world. It is also included in that world. Therefore, how are you going to deal with it unless you reconcile? And so it's very important we understand the whole thing as a whole we have to understand, then only the Vedanta is complete, otherwise it becomes incomplete. That's why he brings in this particular thing and he says, well therefore, so if I am Brahman, Satchidanandam Brahma, Brahman to be the creator of this entire creation, that Brahman must be omniscient and omnipotent, and therefore Brahman, we don't say Brahman alone is the cause for the creation. Brahman plus Maya is the cause for the creation. Therefore, Brahman plus Maya. Now here, once you say Brahman plus Maya is the whole creation, that is why you will find that you always find this particular, the Indian gods are all nicely, they are all married together. So this plus is always there. That plus is that little different, that we'll see that later. So the Brahman plus Maya becomes Ishvara, and like even Brahman plus your mind, you become what? You become an intelligent being, so the thinker, a person who can know, who can think, who can do, who enjoys certain powers. Similarly, Brahman plus that Maya, the power which is the cause for the creation, and that one is called Ishvaraha, Sarvajnaha, Sarvashaktiman. Once I say Maya, then you can ask here one question, Swamiji, Brahman plus Maya if you accept, then there is no non-duality. There is no non-duality. Why? Because Brahman plus Maya, you accept fundamentally two things. Therefore, two are there, many will be there. You know? So first you are born. See, that is why in Sanskrit we have got Aham, Avam, Vayam. So Aham, when you are born you are Aham, and when you get married, Avam, dual form. Aham, Avam, Then we have children, Vayam. Whether you're 5 or 10 or 3 or whatever, so Vayam. Aham, Avam, Vayam. So, if Brahman plus Maya, Brahman is 1, plus Maya 2, then afterwards all this have come. Therefore, many. Poor Brahman became a samsari, created a lot of things. And now, so became a samsari. Now, in fact, that 1 plus 1 here is not 2 because 1 is Satyam. Remember that always. 1 is Satyam. Maya is Satyam is. Maya is not Satyam is. And therefore, so Satyam Brahma plus Maya, which is also Mithya. This is also Mithya, remember. In terms of reality, Maya is Mithya. We use the word Mithya for reality, a type of reality. So from that standpoint, if you look at Satyam is, Brahman is Satyam, a word for reality. Then Maya is another word for reality we have to look for. It is not Satyam, like because it is not independent, depends upon Maya and depends upon Brahman, whereas, and therefore, now it can dismiss it as something that is purely non-existent because it accounts for the empirical creation. Therefore, what shall we do? We will call it as Mithya. Mithya creation. And therefore, so, Satyam, like even carpenter for the desk. Carpenter is Mithya. So, Mr. So-and-so is Satyam. Who is the carpenter? You can't say, I am married Mr. Carpenter, unless his name is Carpenter. Now you are married to a name, that is also Mithya. The name is dependent upon the person. The carpenter is not, it's not that the carpenter means he is born with, with a chisel and hammer. He was born, the born carpenter. Sometimes we say that, oh, he's a born artist. The born artist means what? He's born with some brushes and paints, etc. Because he came, we brought along with him. No. So a born carpenter, there is no such thing. He is a person. Carpenter is Mithya. You must understand this Mithya well. Carpenter is Mithya. For what? For a Mithya desk. A Mithya carpenter good enough for Mithya desk. Carpenter is Mithya. Why? Because there is no such thing as carpenter. There is no such fellow called carpenter. There is only a person with reference to a job he does. He is called carpenter. Not that he whole day and night he is doing carpentry. His life is not carpentry all the time. He does some carpentry work he does, and therefore he is called carpenter. There is no such, neither there is a driver. He is not driver all the time. Neither there is a chef, cook you say, but that doesn't mean he cooks all his lifetime and cooks himself. And so there is, it is all just professionally you talk to him, it's Mithya. Means it depends upon somebody else. The status of being a cook, that one thing depends upon, there is no cook fellow. There is a fellow with reference to an action is called cook. With reference to another action, same fellow becomes driver. And therefore, it is Mithya. Similarly, when I say, so Maya, so creator, when I say Brahman becomes the creator is what? Exactly like carpenter. What? Mithya. Mithya. There is carpenter with reference to certain skill and job. Here we say Brahman with reference to the creation. And for which he must have something, some power. And that is called Maya, with reference to which alone he is the carpenter, the creator. And not only the creator, sustainer. Not only the sustainer, he is the dissolver too. Why do you say so? Because I find in the creation, things are born, things are there, things are gone. That is how the creation is. I don't see constancy in the creation. Therefore, all the three acts are happening at the same time, really speaking. Now, you cannot think of a creation without within the, outside the framework of time. So you see the creation within the framework of time alone. The creation is at this time now, something is at this time. And so the time you look at it, time, one particular second now, it is born. This time is born, and it is gone. Born is gone. Understand? Born, the time is this particular split second. Born, at the same time, is and gone. When did it go? What I gave some time between. Born, is gone. You thought, oh, that much time only. No, born is gone. It is born is gone. In fact, gone. See, it is not born. In fact, I can't open my mouth really. As it is born, he is gone. That's what it is, the blessed thing. That is the creation. Because I find in this creation, these three factors all the time working. Very funny. That's why I call it Maya. Because you don't know which is first, which is second, which is third. That is why we say it is mithya. And therefore, this creator, it himself is mithya. Mithya means what? For the mithya table, mithya carpenter. For mithya chain, mithya goldsmith. And if I say, Swamiji, I can't think of God as mithya. Why? Why? Because you know, the creation is so real. Yeah, God is also so real. But the creation is mithya, then God is also mithya. And therefore, so God is mithya means what? God is mithya means carpenter. Mithya means carpenter. Means there is a fellow there. It's not that mithya means the whole fellow is carpenter. In the carpenter, there is, you know, in carpenter, there is one fellow. The ER, you know, the ER is Brahman. Satchidananda. That ER. Because the same carpenter becomes walker, talker. So he is walker, talker, seer, hearer, thinker. All that is that guy, same fellow. That ER is Satchidananda. Therefore, mithya, when you say, it depends entirely upon Satyam. Therefore, Satyam, Brahma, always is there. No situation it is away. Must know that. No situation Brahma Satyam is away. In any situation you take, it is never away. And therefore you take Brahma, the Brahman as the creator, Brahman is. Vishnu, sustainer, Brahman is. Shiva, the destroyer, Brahman is. Then that job is purely, the Lord's job is as good as the creation is. The creation is mithya. The Lord is mithya. In that order, it is real. Okay? In that order of same reality, without shifting the order. If you look at the whole thing in the same order, within the order, it is very real. Understand that? Okay, we'll see more later. Okay. That's enough.